Guys, I have a cold and I look very shiny because I've just put on moisturiser and my hair's wet because I'm just out the shower because I'm trying to make myself feel a bit better because I've had this cold for a few days and it's just kind of been one of those colds that makes me feel like I don't want to do anything, and that's why my nose is a bit red. And it's also July and so I'm kind of annoyed that I've got a cold, but the positive thing, it's making me feel a bit autumnal. I love autumn so much. It's actually, I feel like when the weather is colder and it gets darker quicker in the evening, that's when I feel least anxious. So yeah, I am really looking forward to autumn, even though it's probably quite a while away. This cold's making me feel autumnal, so that's the positive of this cold. Anyway, I thought I would do a little get ready with me today and chat because I've got a lot of things to chat about. This spot might not look that big or anything like that, but it's so painful. So I'm going to cover that up. That's the main thing we need to do. Yeah, it feels like there's lots I need to talk about, and I know that I'm going to forget something that I wanted to say because I've not written this down. I thought it would just be better flowing. But I guess the main thing is I have been physically having one thing after another. So it started maybe like, I want to say like 3 weeks ago. I started getting like really horrific tummy pains, like really bad. I was back and forth from the doctor. It was not good. I was like just not well at all. I couldn't really eat anything. It felt like everything I ate would make me feel awful. And I mean like nauseous, awful tummy pain, going to the toilet all the time. Like it was just really not good. And I can't actually explain to you how bad that tummy pain was. Obviously, anxiety makes this pain so much worse as well, because I kept thinking like, I'm gonna be sick, this is like a really bad pain, I'm gonna have to go to hospital. Like there was times where I was like, I need to go to hospital, this is like, I can't deal with how bad this pain is. I couldn't go to work. It was just like really bad. There was actually one day when this was all happening. If you've been watching me for a while, you'll know that one of my really, like something that's really hard for me is when my parents aren't here. And I think, yeah, there's a big long story of why that is, and it's very complicated and it's kind of like quite embarrassing because I'm 23 and I need my mummy and daddy around. Do you know what I mean? But I've spoken about it before on this channel that it's just like this comfort thing that I have, and I just don't like my parents not being here because I get really terrified something really bad's going to happen. And that actual scary thing happened. My mum actually went on holiday with my brother to Zante. That's in itself is a weird sentence. Yeah, they were off in Zante, and my dad actually had to go to hospital because, well, he had just like an appointment, and this was all arranged and it was all going to be fine and I'd kind of prepped myself for it, and then this big illness came where I was just like back and forth in the toilet all the time. The pain was so bad, like it was just like, honestly, even drinking water or something, like, or drinking juice, that like I would have to go to the toilet. It was just like awful. And I've always, like, I've had IBS for a really long time and it was never like that. Like it was just really weird. I'm still not really 100% sure what was wrong. So I called my dad and I was like, Dad, I'm really not well. Like I don't think I can do it. Like I don't think you're able to go to the hospital today because I just don't think I can be, I just don't think I can have nobody around. I'm just like, just was not feeling it. And so he phoned the hospital and tried to rearrange the appointment, but people were coming in from different parts of like people were coming in from Glasgow, people were coming in from like lots of different places to do this like check-up and appointment with him, and so he really couldn't cancel it. And I was on the phone to him literally crying, and that I never really cry about things, like I just don't really cry. And to be honest, I never really tell people when I'm really struggling. Like I never say to people, I need you to do this for me, or you know, I never really, it's kind of like an unspoken thing, and I don't really speak about it much. So to phone my dad like that, I really wasn't I was struggling a lot. And yeah, unfortunately my dad was like, there's really nothing that he could do. Like, he couldn't cancel the appointment, it was really important that he went. And so I was just like, okay, well that's just the way it is. I'm just gonna have to deal with this. And so for like the 3 hours or something that he was away, I didn't drink or eat anything at all, because I knew that if I had anything to eat or drink, I would be like really not well, and then a panic might happen. So I literally just kind of did some ironing and just like stayed distracted, tried to like lie down and nap and stuff like that. But yeah, that was awful, and I got through it and it was all fine. I just felt really really awful, and to be honest I still don't know what that was. I think it was maybe like a tummy bug or something that was being like made worse by my IBS. That's what I kind of think it was. But it kind of wasn't going away, and it was just like really not good. So I was like, you know what? They also did blood tests and stuff like that, and they all came back fine. I did urine tests, stool samples, all that kind of stuff. Everything was coming back fine, and I was like, what is this? And then I decided, you know what, I'm going to have to do something quite drastic. And so after 5 years of being vegetarian, I have gone back to eating meat, which is it was quite tricky at the beginning, because the reason I've always really loved meat, that's the thing, I've always really loved meat, but I went vegetarian because, not even necessarily because of the killing of animals, it was more the conditions they were in, being the way they were transported from like farm to slaughterhouse, the way they were treated when they were being farmed, the way they were treated when they were being slaughtered, the way that mums and babies were ripped away from each other, just the horrible conditions. That was the reason I went vegetarian. And for 5 years, after like I think a few months, I didn't really miss meat at all. It wasn't really a big deal. But it was getting to the point where I'm not able to eat dairy anymore. So anything with lactose or eggs or stuff like that, I can't have. I can't have anything high in fibre, so any high fibre fruits and vegetables, things like bran, all that kind of stuff I can't have. The only things I can really have from like the wheat department is little bits of like white bread or white pasta and stuff like that, nothing whole grain, because anything high in fibre is just not for me. And so it was kind of, I was getting to the point where I was getting really down and really upset because there was nothing I could eat. There was really nothing. Like, I was just like, I can't have bloody fruits and vegetables, I can't have bloody dairy. Like, my whole diet had been based around cheese and that wasn't able to happen anymore. So I was just like, what the hell am I going to do? And then I was like, I think I'm gonna have to start eating meat. And I kind of knew for a while that I wasn't really great with dairy, and I kind of knew for a while that I was probably gonna have to go back to eating meat at some point. And to be honest, it wasn't really hard. When I went through with it, I didn't find it that difficult because I didn't really see any other option. I knew that I had to go back to eating meat. To be honest, at the moment, I'm kind of just like not thinking and not making the connection between what I'm eating and the fact that it's an animal at the moment, because it kind of feels like I don't really have much of an option to eat meat or not. To be honest, the way I feel about it is it's not really that big a deal. There's people in the world that don't have an option of what choice they can have in eating. People that don't have anything at all to eat. People in this country, they don't have anything at all to eat. People in other countries that literally, when you say starving, like, it's starving. And I think the last thing that I need to be moaning about and fretting about is the fact that I'm not able to have the dietary choices that I want anymore, because, I mean, dietary choices are definitely a privilege, and so don't really need to be worrying about that anymore. It was just a bit shit, really, that I had to go back to eating meat, because just not ideal. But that's the way it is. Thought I'd give you guys a little bit of a general update on my anxiety as well while we're here. Oh, I don't think I can do my eyebrows and talk at the same time. So obviously this kind of whole illness thing has thrown me a little bit and has thrown my anxiety a little bit. So it's been a little bit like, I've been handling it fairly well, touch wood. It's been a bit harder than usual, and I've had to kind of be a bit more careful with certain things and just like realising when it's too much, and luckily I'm in a position where I can say when it's too much and I can just kind of take a step back. I am still taking citalopram, and I've actually, like I said, I've started taking CBD oil a little bit, and that seems to have been helping. I'm not taking it every single day, although I might soon. I might do like a trial and try and take it every day. But at the moment, I kind of take it when I know that I'm going to feel quite anxious that day, or I'm feeling a bit anxious, or when I remember, like stuff like that. I sometimes just take it, and it does seem to do something, and so I think I'll need to do a proper like trial with it. If you're wondering what CBD oil I use, I use one from like a wee independent shop in Edinburgh. They have a website, and actually it's quite important that you quite seriously look into what CBD you're taking, because a lot of CBD is now a big thing. It's been legalised in the UK, and so many companies are getting in on CBD and trying to exploit it a bit, and a lot of big companies will say that there's a certain amount of CBD oil in something, and it's actually not the case. So people might be saying there's like 10% CBD oil, it's actually 2.5%. So look into, I think when you're shopping for CBD, it's quite important to maybe go to smaller independent shops, because they actually make it themselves, or they know the source, and they're quite into like the actual making of it and stuff, whereas big companies, they're doing things on a broader scale. I'll leave down below the website that I use and the shop that I use, and they're all so clued up on everything to do with CBD, and I'm pretty sure the guy actually that runs it, that owns it, he's had quite severe anxiety before, and the woman that I was speaking to when I went in, she's got quite severe anxiety as well, and she takes it, and they have, you know, they know their stuff about it, they really know what they're talking about. So I use actual CBD oil, so like it's like a wee dropper that you put under your tongue. You're meant to do it kind of like 2 or 3 times a day. It's actually good for people that don't have anxiety but that are doing something nervous as well. Like my dad takes it, he doesn't have like an anxiety disorder, but whenever he's doing like big meetings or going somewhere with work or something that he's like not feeling good about, he'll take some CBD, and it's because it's all natural, it's non-addictive, it doesn't like affect your chemicals, anything like that. It's just great. I really recommend it, definitely trying it, and I think I need to do a proper trial with it, because I've just kind of been taking it as and when and not properly tried it out. So yeah, I know I've vaguely mentioned on this channel that I have a few jobs at the moment, but that's the main reason that I've not been able to like upload as much. I've been it's been a bit all over the place really. I've been kind of working with certain people and then not working with them and then working with them. So it's kind of a bit more solidified now, and I work at a pub. I'm still working at the pub. I am also working with a really amazing wee company that's actually like a well-being company, and I do their social media, and so it's actually a really interesting concept, and really I think something that will really benefit actually a lot of you guys. So yeah, it's basically the idea that we've come quite far away from our natural state as human beings, and it's about looking into nature and looking at how nature kind of flows, and it has a rhythm, and it's kind of unspoken. It's kind of like just a natural instinct for, I don't know, butterflies to naturally cocoon. It's a natural instinct for caterpillars to cocoon and come into butterflies, and it's like the natural cycle of things, and how as human beings we've come really far away from the natural cycle of things, and our lives now consist of well, most people's lives consist of work most of your life, try and whilst trying to do all the things that society is telling us to do, whether that's the gym, eating healthy, all the extra life bits, and then trying to get as much sleep and self-care in as possible, and also trying to socialise. And there's just kind of this, we're not actually listening to ourselves anymore, we're doing what we're meant to be doing and told to do. And it's very, very interesting, and I'm going to leave the links to the website and the Facebook and the social media and stuff. And I run all the social media, so if you're wanting to support me in another way, or if you're just wanting to learn more about that, I think it's just something that will really benefit people here. We have an online course that I have done, and it's absolutely amazing, and it's designed for people with anxiety, with depression, people that are just generally struggling, that are feeling overwhelmed, that are feeling burnt out, that are feeling always exhausted, and it's kind of like it uses a lot of kind of coaching and like counselling ideologies, but with the base of nature and the base of going back into your specific natural cycle and way of being. I really am genuinely very, very passionate about it, and when I'm working there I just don't feel like I'm working at all, because everything is so interesting and so valuable, and I'm learning so much about myself through working in this company. I'm going to leave some information about the online course down below, because it feels like it's designed for people watching these videos. It really, really does. It goes back into who you were as a child. It goes into so many things, and it's a really long course. Obviously it's online, so you can do it. You can take 3 years to do it if you want, or you can do it in 3 weeks. It's totally up to you. And once you kind of have it, you can do it again and again. I just think it's absolutely amazing. So I'm going to leave links to that below, and you can have a wee look if you fancy it. Doing a very simple makeup look today, mainly because I've run out of quite a lot of my makeup, so I'm just kind of going with what I have. So yeah, I kind of went off on a tangent there, but I'm working for that company. I'm also working for a herbal company, which is just one lady that's doing that makes all her own like herbal teas and herbal remedies for things like IBS, things like teas to help with stress, teas to help with colds and coughs, loads and loads of different things. And it's really, really fun. It's really interesting learning about all these things. She also does loads of things, loads of like awareness for helping the environment, all that kind of stuff. So it's really, really interesting. Just doing some different things. It's just kind of a big learning experience at the moment, doing things I've never done before. So it's very interesting. But that's all, it's kind of like all come to, it's definitely more scheduled now. I do a certain amount of hours in each place, and then, so it's kind of like, it's just a lot more, it flows a lot easier. My weeks flow a lot easier now. So hopefully that means that I can do loads more videos and stuff like that now. If you have any video ideas or some videos you'd like to see from me, do let me know, because I would be very happy to do them. Just do some lipstick and then I'll be done. I've not been wearing makeup as well because I've not been well, so this feels good. My bronzer doesn't look this bad in real life, by the way. It looks really bad on camera. So that is me done. I've talked so much. I'm so sorry. This video must have been so boring. But I just kind of needed to get all of that stuff out about CBD, about the illness, about eating meat again, about my new jobs. Just kind of had to get it all out. So now that when I do normal videos, I can talk about these things. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'd love to hear about what you've been up to in the past month, if there's anything different that's happened in your life, how your general anxiety and mental health is going. I'd love to hear about all of it down below. And thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you soon. Bye!